Welcome to He Believes, She Feels, episode 9, with my good friend and really good person, Andrew McCarthy. How are you, Andrew?
I'm well. How are you?
I am fantastic. Get straight into it. Talk about who you are and what you do and how you got here to your journey. Explain to the audience.
Yeah, so my name's Andrew. I would say that I had my spiritual awakening probably a few years ago. And I, a couple years ago, went and experienced ayahuasca for the first time, and it just completely changed the trajectory of my life. And knew that being a part of the medicine world was a part of my calling. And sold my house, sold my business in Ohio, and moved across the country to Arizona. And uh, went to. It's really interesting how God kind of laid the path for me. It wasn't even like I had to try. It was just stuff would come into my awareness, and it was like, okay, I'll go do that. And a series of events led to this tribe in Punta Chueca in Mexico. And
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
is Siri helping? Oh gosh. Me and technology don't mix, just
It's okay. It's
throwing
okay. You heard her. She didn't get that. Can you repeat it again?
it so I went to Punta Chueca and worked with this indigenous tribe who are one of the tribes of the founders of Bufo. And they have never trained someone outside of their tribe. So it was a huge honor for me and um, just really purposeful. It's the world of psychedelics is really expedited healing. And uh, I'm excited for people to experience it. We're definitely going into a new earth where all these things are going to become more normalized, and um, it just really helps people unlock deeper aspects to their own consciousness.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I was talking to somebody today and I was talking about how, like, I feel like we all as a collective jump timelines. Like now we have our government talking about the water and pineal gland and all the things. But I call you my medicine man, and it can mean in various different things. But you're right. Usually for this journey, as I know people are listening, that it's usually having to do with either a trauma or a medicine that helps you connect to the other realm and helps you connect to your higher self, right?
Right.
Um, and I like let's jump. I'm gonna throw myself right into the fire. So like I did that with you. I did a microdose of Bufo with you,
Hmm.
and I'll talk about my experience so everybody is aware of like how Andrew works and how Andrew participates in everything. So the microdose of Bufo has helped me so much, and it was just a small amount. And first, there was a lot of fear involved. Andrew will probably laugh at this. Yeah, it was a lot of fear just to get it out of the way, and I can feel it right now again. Um, but once we got that passed out of the way, and we got to like the second or third, man, Bufo didn't even give me a chance to fight my mind. It went straight to my heart, and I was holding things in that no longer served me. I was looking for external validations. Um, I was holding my pedestal, I guess, as you say, for external things that all the power was within me, and that little micro Bufo changed everything. It literally broke all the walls I had easily, um, and made me. I had 3 rebirths since that little event. I was like, I haven't stopped, and that's just a microdose. So I can imagine what a full journey is in this medicine. But I think one thing that was the most important is what you bring to the table too, Andrew. So not only have you brought this medicine and it helped me tremendously, you provide a safe space that I'm used to myself providing, but you provided that for me. And that allowed me to go within myself, trusting my environment, and really tackle what was wrong, right? And that's, I think, the beautiful part about what you learn about who you are. You provided a safe space. You come from it from a medicine standpoint, and you truly help people to go into their spiritual path and go into their based on this plant medicine. And it's truly amazing. Like I cried, and I let that out. It was good. It was needed, and now I've been calmer. I've been trusting more. I've been just relaxing and just integrating a lot of things because of that moment. And it's about trust. I was too much in my masculine energy, and the message I was trying to give to other people was slow down, slow down. You've done a lot. You do a lot, masculine, 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 and then we don't get caught up in the way that we've been doing this. Is the same thing we've learned, and we're trying to unwind. It's our fear base, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what your journey with you helped me realize. Or
I think it's really important to realize when we go through something, it's really important to face it and then integrate what you learned. So many people try to go from A to Z instead of going to A to B and then integrating what you learned in that step. So it can propel you to the next step. It's really fascinating, and thank you for that compliment. It truly means a lot to me because I've worked with many different shaman um, across the globe, and um, what I have found in my experience, there's a lot of people that choose this path, and I see a lot of these medicine people go in trying to heal everyone. And a true shaman that is chosen to do this work knows that it is not my job to heal anyone. It is to create a container for you to self heal. And I can give guidance and I can channel and pick up psychic information and mediumship and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's for you to sit with the energy that's presented to you so you can move to the next evolution of
yeah,
you.
and then the Bufo made me realize that I can't be that container for others if I kept not going within myself more, and me being the light. That light provides that container and provides all the safety, instead of just always looking from outside, not coming from an egotistical way or a narcissistic way, but most of I'm here to service. Let me service myself to service others.
Right.
Yeah, you picked a very good contract to do with this world. It's powerful stuff. The moment that we did that, and after the third time, I realized, I was like, you truly have a gift, because you get to see people go through that transition, and that's one of the most beautiful things is to see that evolution of the people. My awareness has grown since then,
Yes.
and talk about how that feels when you see people go through that.
It's very rewarding because I'm very intuitive and psychic, but that's not my contract for being here, right? So I can pick up on things, and sometimes I feel inspired to share with people or whatnot. But if you think back to your life, when has the biggest moments where things have just clicked? Was it you hit rock bottom and then you pick yourself back up and you learn from that? Or has the bigger lesson been someone just telling you something and you believe them? So there is a degree of sharing, but if people are not in a vibratory state to receive that message, it goes right off their back. It's not integrated into the body. Um, so it is really important to uh, like practice your discernment and see where people are at and honor that for them.
Yes.
Um, I mean, working with psychedelics, it is quite expedited from not working with them. It takes much longer, but you just have to honor the process and honor where people are at. You can't take people from A to Z. It just doesn't work like that. There's so many steps that you wouldn't be able to integrate. and then it's just like it was all for nothing.
Yeah, you do have a point. Like, I remember, like I said, I do a lot of rebirths, but this specific time, because of the micro, because of the Bufo, it's like I went through like three in a matter of like a week and a half. But what did I do? I was grateful that I had the time to integrate it. I even send you some messages about how I was getting integrated. Like I went more, I keep getting a calling to go out in the sun more,
Yeah.
obviously to upgrade,
Bufo's
meditate,
the
and
sun medicine.
yeah, the meditate in the morning and night, even throughout the like just was less guilt and just more joy of the world. I was like, I look at my little animals in between. I'm like, hey, like it's all like, and it made me softer, and therefore I can go into my heart space a lot more. And integration is so important. You're right. I have some people that I know that don't give their brain times to integrate,
Yeah.
because then you just get in your own way, and then you're stuck in a loop that you broke out of the, let's say, matrix, but then you're in another loop, and it's like it's another part of the loop that you think you're doing a healing, but you're not. You're going around and around, just in a different side of the grass.
Yeah.
So the balance is key. How do you go about the days with balance? Let's talk about that. Like, because I know the world is healing right now, and we're in a frequency change and jumping timelines. So let's talk about healing, balance, kind of those kind of thought process, because I know that's important to you too.
Is your question how to balance?
How do you keep the balance? Let's answer
Ask
that one
away,
first.
Andrew.
Damn it, Ray.
How do we keep the balance? And then after, let's talk about the healing aspect of things.
So in what I'm hearing, how to maintain balance is honoring your feminine and your masculine. It's really just full surrender. There are moments where you will lean into your masculine energy, and you feel the masculine energy of like taking action. I say inspired action, because taking any action is just going to lead you anywhere. Like, really hone in on when the energy is ripe and take inspired action. That's healed masculine energy. If you find yourself in this space of always seeking or taking action, that's not in balance. You have to lean into more of your feminine energy of having faith and trust and warmth and attracting. There's a difference from attracting what is meant for you and seeking it. So there's a time and place for both, right? But balance for me, how I maintain it is just full surrender and flow. So it's equal parts effort, equal parts surrender. That's flow state.
And I think we live in a now society where we're trying to break free, let's say, of all the matrix things. But I
Right.
feel like some people just don't know how to, including me in the past, and I've worked on it. Um, that we think, even if we post content, even the amount of people we help, we're still chasing, we're still seeking, and a part of it slowing down. You're actually going to attract more. You're going to attract, but I think that's the kind of part that some of us have been going so fast that how do we break? We don't even know how to break. And I
Yeah.
think your plant medicine helps a lot with that.
Oh, 100%. It really illuminates truth. Like, to me, that's what psychedelics do. At the end of the day, how you could describe psychedelics to someone, because psychedelics are so individual and unique to
Yeah.
each person, but also to each journey you do. You will never have the same journey twice. But what it does is it illuminates your individual truth. What's interesting is I've been deep diving into omniism, and it's really fascinating because there are elements of truth in everything that we encounter in our life, but not everything has full truth. So it's just taking what resonates and releasing what does not.
Yeah. Opening up your awareness and looking at it from a bigger point of view, right? Like I said, the body, then the soul, then the spirit, like all that. Again, Bufo helped me realize that.
Well, I think I see a lot of people give all of their power to medicine. The medicine helped you surpass your ego and go into your consciousness. You did
Yes.
that. So when I hear people say that, like, I hear a lot, oh, Bufo told me this. No, your consciousness told you that. Bufo allowed you to let go of your ego so you could receive
It ran through the wall that was there from your ego, and it's like, here you go. Here's the your shadows to work on. Now, if you want to step in, you can step in. I like that.
it. Yeah.
So I know we're in this like shift in consciousness, right? I know we talk about this a lot, and I've been feeling a lot of shifts in timelines. I know you feel shift in timelines as well. I feel like the world is waking up a lot now, and we're in a healing journey. I
Yeah.
feel that's our calling to talk about the healing aspect of everything, and especially coming from masculine that side of it all too, because I think the world needs that. The middle class is suffering, people are suffering, and let's talk more about that.
Yeah. So what's your question?
So first, let's admit that we are in an awakening period. I think people need to realize now that if you don't believe in anything, if it could be astrology, like let's just get on board now. It's time for you to wake up and change who you've been. I know a lot of people are unhappy, but let's start with the basics. How do you one kind of like starts that process, that journey to starting to heal themselves? Because I know that's important.
Yeah. So I think it's a matter of the individual. Like there is a collective awakening or shift or lifting of the veil, whatever, however you want to word it. There is a collective shift happening. But I find that, how do I word it? Like the energy of staying where you are when that becomes overburdening to the unknown, that's when you're ready to like really go after it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can think about it in my life when I had yeah, exactly that what you said. Like the amount of things that I was self sabotaging myself with, and the amount of trauma I was going is like, okay, enough is enough. This loop hurts so much that where am I gonna go unless if I go down this road, this might happen. But then it's like, what else is there?
But
Eh,
that's a trap that people put in themselves. It's like they have an expectation of the outcome. They have an attachment to the outcome. It's not just taking inspired action and being indifferent of where you end up, because at the end of the day it's forward movement, it's momentum propelling you forward, and that's always going to inspire expansion. But if you go into something with an expectation, you're not going to learn anything other than a lesson. And most people avoid the lesson. So then it's just back to square one. And that, to your earlier point, that's when the loop starts again.
but then the people that do, like the people, I've dropped so many seeds with different people that I talk to online and things, and now it's just really nice when you see people that do take the hints or do take the seed planted and they succeed. Because I don't want to just talk about like what happens if you're scared, but also what happens when you do take that leap of faith and you let go. Um, I can say that this might be the most turbulent time of my life because I'm letting go of my 3D world. But on the other side, I'm the most calm I've ever been. I'm the most happy with self love I've ever been. So I guess my question is like, how do you feel when you see that? When you actually see the seeds you planted grow? And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Oh, for sure. I would say if I had to label myself, I'd be like I'm a professional seed planter. Um, I plant seeds to see how they grow in people because my perspective is different than someone else's perspective, and how they receive or how they manifest is very different than how I do. Um, and at the end of the day, it's not my responsibility to talk someone into healing. Like if we went and did ayahuasca in February. And it's like, if I was made to do that and it was not my choice, I would have felt like I was in torture. Like
Yeah.
I would have felt like I was being tortured. But at the end of the day, it's such a unique individual uh, thing for you to just come to that conclusion yourself. Like only you can say when you are ready to start the journey.
And let's step back even more, right? And after you get out of the state that it's an I thing and it's a we thing, where there's a collective war going on between our energies, right? Between the people that have been ruling our world for so long and ourselves. Care to comment on more of that of all this? I know we talk a lot about timelines, but things are shifting. Let's talk about more about that.
So what's interesting with psychic information is in this now moment, I could tell you like anything. Like I see the people overturning the government. But that's in this right now moment. Like a few months ago, I actually was feeling into the election wasn't even going to happen. And then a week before the election, something shifted and it was allowed to move forward. So it's really interesting. Um, at the end of the day, I think anything that is outside of you is a distraction. When you're in the energy of self healing, if you are focused on someone outside of you, then it's a distraction. It's delaying your evolution. So it is okay to tap into that energy, but if you start absorbing that frequency, you are doing a disservice to you.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. From the election, from everything we've been taught since day one, it's all a distraction. So you don't, because we're stronger together. You're stronger when you look within yourself. Everything happens when, yeah, exactly. When you, and these elections, no matter who won, I'm like, that doesn't matter. To be honest, we're fighting for something outside us instead of fighting for ourselves.
Yeah.
Literally.
If you are seeking someone to save you, you are behind.
Yeah.
Where New Earth is moving, we are our own saviors and we are our own healers and we are our own creators. And that's what I feel is my calling, is to help facilitate that movement for people.
Yeah. I mean, it's true because right now we're in a separation zone, right? We're like timelines are shifting. There's a gray area and people are making choices
Mm-hmm.
to either go one way and not continue their paths or work on themselves and go to a higher consciousness where you'll live a more prosperous life. Because, like, I think you texted me the other day about like the time for healing is almost over and living in harmony is coming.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks loudly. I don't even know what living in harmony would be. We're not used to this. All we've had in our past, me and you both, Andrew, and everybody listening, has been non-harmony. It's been all this fighting and trauma. So, like, talk to me a little bit about that. How does that look like?
It's because we've been controlled. It's essentially mind control. It's if you, the powers that be or the elites, they understand that humans listen in loops. So if you hear something long enough and repetitively enough, you start to believe it. And people are feeling into their energetic abilities more. Like, how do you tell someone is being dishonest? It's when their energy does not align with what they say. That's why so many people are having this visceral reaction to these politicians, because we know that we're being lied to. We can feel it. Even if people aren't awake or conscious of it, we know something is off energetically. And up until this point, we have been forced into choosing this option or this option. And I've said for a year now, like, there is a third option coming, and it's we, the people. Like, we're taking back our power, and I'm just super excited for that.
Yeah, because we'll have to, once we do take back our power, we'll have to what? New school systems, new financial systems that are right there in our faces.
Everything.
New, just like new everything, because everything that was planted in our field, especially here in the United States, are old archaic systems, our old systems. And even those systems are based off faith.
Yeah.
Like mathematics is based off faith. Everything that you've learned since your day one of your school is based off faith.
Yeah.
And that's already seeking something outside from another individual's point of view.
Someone once told me if God wanted to hide themselves, they would hide themselves in humanity. Because humans, the biggest issue with humans is avoidance. We
Yeah.
avoid going inward. And that is, everyone asks me how I heal so quickly, is I avoid nothing. Like there is nothing that someone could tell me that I have not told myself.
Yeah.
And it's just going in and realizing that we are all fractals of God. So, in essence, we all have God energy in us. No one would dispute that. But what people don't realize is God is found within, not external. And I'm really excited for these antiquated beliefs to just drop off. Like it's not reality, it's an illusion. And I'm really excited for all these illusions to just start falling off.
All of it, right? When we're born, we're given it a birth certificate, and that's a company right there. Like let's pump all this and train because we can live off them. Literally, they make money off. It's it's a system that feels like, and I can see it breaking
Yeah.
because now the guy has no more is taking this, and the more we awaken, the more people do internal work, the stronger this light becomes, and we can just keep on fighting it until it no longer exists in our reality.
And that's why in the 60s and 70s, there was this whole war on drugs with the government. It's because people were waking up and realizing truths, and they had to put a stop to that. So it's really interesting. Once you understand the matrix and all that stuff, it's just like you cannot unsee it. And you just start seeing, like, you start understanding influence, like how media and entertainment and politicians, it's all influence. People don't have their own compass anymore. They rely on external information. And that's what I'm most excited for to leave, is that antiquated belief that happiness is an external force. It's everything is found within. Like that's the thing with medicine. Like every answer that you are seeking is found within, not external.
Everything has been a lie. Like everything, Andrew, we know this. And the more you awaken to this, like from even, I don't even watch sports as much as anymore because I know that's just to distract me. Um, all these antiquated systems, the
You're
food,
allowed to be human and find joy. Like
yes,
that's also something a lot of people in the spiritual community shoot themselves in the foot. Like, yes, you are here to heal yourself, but you're also here to be a human and enjoy your human aspects. And if you find joy in sports, you're allowed that.
yeah,
Like, so many people fall in this rut of shame and guilt, and it's such a trap.
it is because we're here. We are our spirit is having a human experience. I'm playing the character of Raphael. You're playing the character of Andrew. But then even on top of that, we're still a little chip from God and everything else. And then from top of that, we're just a dream. We're literally reincarnating into different realities, different worlds, right? And just experiencing this dream. And it's literally a game. Like I've never felt more excited. If you're playing a game and you're listening out there, you're worried about like what's going to happen in your life. It's a game. Just like take the chance. Consciousness is awaking. Like just I know there's a question. People are, I know, asking themselves questions every day, like, why do I do this? Why do I do that? And if you just slow down
Mm-hmm.
and realize it,
Zoom out.
yeah, There's more bigger than the eye, right? Because it says that we go from pendulum to pendulum. Like we go from a egotistical, narcissistic viewpoint to a we viewpoint. Then we go back to another part of it to it, and then we go back and forth into different areas of our life. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there's ebbs and flows and everything. Like there are some days where my body just tells me we're not doing anything and I don't leave. Like I listen to my body and I trust my internal guidance now. Like to me, that is one of the biggest blessings that you can possess is like trusting yourself. No one can take that away from you.
No, no. But you have to be able to give yourself self-love before you trust yourself, because then you're not even trusting your own discernment and all that.
You
Going
have
back
to
to
build a strong foundation to build your house.
and you needed the work.
Anything not built on love is going to crumble.
Yep, which is crumbling right now. Uh, what have you seen coming up in different timelines in regards to like just going back to the humanity and how that looks? What else in the next coming years? Like, have you seen different versions of different Earths and everything?
Yes. What I see coming is I have to be careful because I don't want to inspire fear. That's not a positive frequency. But what I will say, and this he knows I'm very conscious and aware of my wording. What I will say, what people can expect over the next few months, year, is full disclosure. And what I would encourage people to do is keep releasing attachments to everything. If you have an attachment to an outcome, you're going to feel disappointment. That's why half of the country is feeling such low frequency right now because they were attached to an outcome. That's at the end of the day, that's what that is. And if you put your faith in the current education, the current banking, the current government, the current entertainers, like all of it is about to be exposed for what it is. So when I say full disclosure is coming, that's what's coming. And I would encourage everyone just to accept it because where we are moving into is a beautiful space. And just keep releasing fear because everything's going to be taken care of. You're not going to have to do anything.
Yeah, that's beautiful, beautifully said. The age of Aquarius is going to really shine a light wherever it is needed. Um, and I hear a lot of people releasing a lot of like old karmic wounds and old things, just patterns that no longer exist. You're right. Um, Easier said than done, right? Releasing the attachment to the expectation when you're scared to look within yourself. But again, let this be the motto of this episode today: is look within yourself to start your healing journey, regardless.
I think it's when I hear it's easier said than done, that's the reality that you are creating for yourself.
Yeah.
People don't understand that they are creating their own resistance in their own evolution.
You see the hardwiring that they have in us? Like I said that knowing already that it's not that way, but even though my brain still says it because it's embedded in you, like embedded. Whew.
When I hear people say, oh, I take that really seriously, seriousness is a lower frequency. It would be better to say, I take responsibility over this. That is an empowering frequency more than I take this seriously.
Yeah.
You're adding resistance to your outcome.
Literally our words our words are powerful.
We are our own creators of our own reality.
Yeah.
What we say, our brain finds and attracts to us.
It's so crazy. And now that I keep thinking about everything else, it's like banking system collapsing, the food that we put in our bodies from all these addictions that we've battled, from everything they feed us to on the TV and the news. I mean, I don't know about you, but the last time I saw the news was so long ago. I only saw it because I was curious about the presidential election just to see. But besides that, I haven't watched news in maybe like 4 or 5 years.
It's because it's a bunch of lies and garbage and it's low frequency. Like what people don't realize, if everyone could see the world in frequency based, everything has a frequency that it is emitting. So if you are even me, like I'm pretty awake and all this stuff. If I am in the company of someone that is lower frequency or a group of lower frequency, or if I listen to music that has a lower frequency, or if I watch something on TV that's lower frequency, my frequency is going to match or come down to match that frequency. So if you can start seeing everything as frequency, like the food that we eat, like steak has a low frequency. It's very grounding, where living food like vegetables, fruit, legumes, any of that stuff, it's high frequency. So when you start fueling yourself with the frequency that you want to embody, then you start manifesting what you want into your reality.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people we know, I've been through it. You've been through it. A lot of things in this America has to do a lot with obesity, right? And the food we inhale. Like I'm tired of seeing people on certain platforms online shoving their faces with 300 grams of sugar and saying they're okay. And I'm like, it just makes me sad for them.
Yeah.
Because
I used to
health,
be almost 400 pounds, and I like
isn't that
I
crazy?
yeah, it's just
Hold on. Before you
I
go there, 800 pounds between me and you in the screen, we've lost. Actually, like 400 pounds we lost because we used to be 400. So literally, we have in screen 400 pounds lost total. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So it's at the end of the day, what's interesting about the healing journey is so many people think I have to feel happy all of the time. I cannot tell you how many times I have been to hell and back. And each time I visit, because it's a visit, it's not an establishment, I'm basically digging out the garbage in order to have what I want fill in. I heard this recently. It was like people that choose ascension or heaven feels like hell. The road feels like hell. If you choose hell, it feels like heaven. Like getting there feels like heaven. So it's just a matter of like leaning into discomfort, like go right through the center of it. Yeah, you might have a unfavorable day or two, but you're not going to be carrying that around in your backpack any longer.
No, because that's a lot of weight. And then integrating it, right? I picture myself every time I integrate during certain trips, let's call it to the shadow realm, the upside down, whatever you want to call it. I picture like a bunch of little things open here and a computer connected here and just installing new systems and new things while deleting the backup hard drives that no longer serve you.
Mm-hmm.
That's my mind how it goes to things. But now if you want to I wanted to end a little bit with the whole message to the audience. Talk to me about what you think is most crucial right now, the most important message in the current timeline that we're in that you think somebody needs to hear today.
I have two.
It's fine.
The first one would be to honor your awareness in every moment of your life. If something comes into your awareness, like for example, if you are energetically feeling off from someone, but they are smiling in your face, trust that awareness. That awareness is essentially God speaking through you and to you. And it's never going to steer you wrong. And I no longer wait to see how things play out. If something feels off, I understand that that's not for me and I'm out. I don't need people to prove what I feel anymore. So that's number one. The second thing is the sooner that you watching can release the idea of duality, the better. Do not see things as good or bad. See things as purposeful. And that will
Yeah.
always lead you to expansion.
I mean, those were two beautiful things. Thank you for sharing that. Just to piggyback off that, the good and bad is just old constructs. Like again, what they taught us to believe in this matrix system construct of the religion. It's like hiding it within your brain that you think like, oh, good or bad. Am I going to be good? But it has nothing to do with it. It's all purposeful, like you said, and that's beautifully said. Now, how do people find you, Andrew?
Yeah, so on Instagram, my handle is a bridge to source. People can find the link in my bio if they want to do like one-on-one healing sessions or channeled sessions. If you are interested in a medicine journey, reach out to me, private message or whatnot, and we'll see what we can come up with that. Until things change in the world, it's all word of mouth now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about to change, and that's really exciting. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I know you're going to offer more. I know you do individuals, but in the future, I need some group kind of activities too when it comes to plant medicine.
yeah, I definitely within a year, I see myself opening up retreat centers across the
Beautiful.
world, and I'm really excited about that. And um, I'm going to be working with someone else who is very much like my spiritual sister in every sense of the word. Um, and we just have this vision of making healing fun because so many people get in that rut of seriousness and whatnot. And it's like, yes, we are going to allow people to go into their shadows, but we're also going to allow people to bring out their inner child and have fun.
Yeah. So
And
we want to
I'm
have fun.
really excited about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, Andrew. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Thanks.